Hi, my friends. Okay, so today, here at Amazing Adventures of Moms, I wear many hats, and today well, not hat choice, but my ear choice is my beautiful Haunted Mansion hat, or hat ears. I love these. So, and I got my Elsa and Anna shirt on, so maybe that gives you a little clue that we're gonna talk a little bit about Disney today because it's one of my most favorite topics. I had to bring my handy dandy notebook along because I wanted to make sure I remembered what I was going to say. So today I'm going to talk about my top 3 Disney resorts that I've stayed in and that hold near and dear to my heart. Just adjust this camera so a little bit over this way. Okay, I was kind of off center there. So we've been to Disney World 6 times, and we've stayed in a different resort each time. We've been lucky enough to be able to do that. I understand this is totally, a privilege, and but we worked our butts off to stay and have our Disney vacations, so it's not like we just got money handed to us. We've always had to save and really work hard toward our vacations. So we have stayed in, I'm gonna tell you, we've stayed in 6. We've stayed in, our very first resort was All-Star Movies, and that will totally always have a special place in my heart because it was our first time ever staying at a Disney resort. It was our first time at Disney World as a family. It was magical. It was magical. My oldest son, who is almost 17 when this video is gonna come out, he was 1. He had just turned 1. Fun fact, he actually learned to walk at Disney World. So that's a memory that's just amazing to have, right? At least it was for us. My older sons were 11 and 12 when we first went. We stayed, like I said, at All-Star Movies. It was magical. It was everything that we could imagine. It was fun. The rooms are a little small, but to be honest, we didn't spend a lot of time in our room. We spent a lot of time around the resort, in the pools, and going to the parks and water parks and just taking all the Disney magic and fun in. Then the second year we stayed, I had a, excuse me, my voice is gonna start acting up, but I had a 6-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old. And because the boys were all so much bigger, we couldn't fit into a smaller room. So we couldn't stay at any of quite a few of them we couldn't stay at because they only allowed for 4 persons, 4 people per room, unless of course, like the first time we stayed, my youngest, David, was in a pack and play, so that was allowed. So this time we needed an extra bed. Thankfully we had a great travel agent who searched and found us one at Port Orleans Riverside. And what it is they just had like this little bed that slid out. I think they said like for kids like 10 and under, or else we would have got 2 rooms, and we could not have afforded that. So luckily we found that option. I think that option is still available at that resort. So if you're a family like we were, 3 kids but we needed more beds, and at least one of those children are under the age of 10, it's a great option. Now, the bed was big enough for like me to lay on and stuff, but I don't think the weight limit probably held much, and I don't think it would have been very comfortable for either one of my older sons to have been on. But David, at 6, loved it. He was fine with it. Okay. The second time we went to, it was the first time that me and my husband and my youngest son went because my 2 oldest sons were grown up and out of the house and chose not to go. So we stayed at, I want to say, I should have looked this up before I did this video. Okay, so the first and the second time, so the third and the fourth time, one time we stayed at All-Star Sports and one time we stayed at All-Star Music. Both of them were fun to stay at. My son was 10 and 11 at that time, and it was fun and we had a great time. They are noisier resorts because they are geared toward kids more theming, a lot more theming. I mean, they are really cool resorts to go and tour, and actually we didn't really mind staying at them until we started staying at other resorts. But I would totally go back and stay in them for my grandkids. If one day we plan to taking the grandkids, and we just may end up in a all-star resort, maybe, who knows. Anyway, so those were fun. And then, so that was the fourth. The fifth time we stayed at Pop Century. I loved Pop Century. It was fun and big, and we just had a great time. My son was 12 at that point in time. And then the last time we stayed was in 2019. My son was 15, and we stayed at the Coronado Springs Resort. I love that resort. That's like my favorite. Oh gosh, now I'm giving it away. But yeah. So anyway, so those are the 6 resorts we have stayed at. We had a wonderful time at Coronado Springs, loved it. But now I'm going to get into the list because I'm going to want to talk about it. So number 3 on my list of the resorts that I've stayed at that are my favorite, Pop Century comes in at number 3. I liked that it had its own bus system. I'm pretty sure it did. I think so. I don't know, but the buses were pretty, if it did share with, I know Art of Animation is right there, and I'm not sure if they share a bus line or not. I can't remember. But we still had a great time. The buses were not that long. Like I said, we had a great time there. Pop Century was fun, and it just like brought back memories, you know, seeing these, like the gigantic Walkman and all that stuff was fun. The food was, you know, was food. Nothing to write home about, but decent, good food. The amenities were wonderful, pools, and I think there was a little arcade, and you know, they have the washer and dryers, and yeah, so it was fun. The theming was very fun in that resort. Number 2 is Port Orleans Riverside. That resort, to me, okay, was beautiful. We loved walking around that resort. It was a very relaxing. It was beautiful. It was, I don't know. I just loved it. It was great. So the food was pretty good. I know we dined at the quick service, you know, restaurant thing, but I don't think we dined at any of the actual restaurants there, and I'm pretty sure they have 1, maybe 2 over there, if I'm thinking right. And so we didn't try those just because we were mainly like, okay, we really don't stay in our rooms much, so we were mainly out and about. So we were at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios, so you know, we tended, and Disney Springs, so we tend to eat when we were out. So that was my number 2, and on my number 1 spot, can you guess it? Because I kind of already gave it away. Coronado Springs, yes. I love that hotel, and I told my husband I wouldn't care if we went and stayed there again. It was beautiful. The grounds are so pretty. All the flowers and the greenery, and to me, yes, it's a big resort, but I loved walking around that big resort. I loved all the amenities. I loved, you know, when I say that, I mean, you know, like the pools. And now they do have, Coronado Springs, they have quite a few restaurants on property. They have 2, okay, I think it's 2 like sit-down restaurants, one on the lower level, one on the very top of the hotel that just got, or the resort that just got the big thing, I keep hitting my ears, that just got built not too long ago. And we ate both of them, and both of them were good to us. We loved it. They were good food. And then they have, of course, the quick service, and they have like a little like a cafe, and then they have like a bar and grill, and then of course they have the poolside bar. So there's a lot of food choices there, and we ate at quite a few of them. We ate at the 2 restaurants, we ate at the quick service. I think that's all we did. Oh, and the cafe. We did donuts and coffee at the cafe one day. I love their little resort shop. Like I said though, my favorite was the grounds I think they were just beautiful. Some people don't agree, I know. This is not their favorite, and that's okay. This is, you know, before I go any further, these are my opinions. So we all have our own. So my question to you is, did any of my top 3 make it on your list? If so, leave a comment down below and tell me which one, and tell me why you liked it so much. And then, so now I'm gonna tell you the top 3 that I would like to stay at. We haven't stayed there yet. 2 of them I don't know we'll ever be able to afford to stay at. 1 is next on our list to stay at. So number 3 is the Polynesian. Now I do know that I've seen several people say that this resort is dated and not very good and overly priced for what it is. I totally understand that. I still would like to experience a vacation there. I don't know why, I just do. I just think it's interesting, and it's just one of the ones that I want to visit. Maybe I should go for a visit there, and then it wouldn't be on my list if I went and saw it in person. I could always do that. And number 2 is French Quarter. French Quarter we do plan on our next Disney trip trying to stay at. I do know that it's smaller, but everybody says it has like this certain charm to it, and we've already stayed at Riverside, so I'd like to experience French Quarter. And my number 1 is Animal Kingdom. I mean, hello. Animal Kingdom has always been at the top of our list to stay at. One day we hope to be able to stay there. I doubt we will ever be able to stay there. So those prices for like the Polynesian, the Animal Kingdom, they're pretty high. And yeah, so I don't know that we will ever get to do that, but you never know. So what are your, what's one that you want to go stay at and haven't yet? Let me know in the comments below. Yeah, that's it. Just kind of a short little video on the top 3, my top 3 resorts. Like I said before, let me know yours in the bottom. Let me know your 3 that you would like to stay at. And yeah, so I hope you liked my video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. Push that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Now, I'm not a regular Disney video vlogger, but sometimes I like to talk about Disney. And yeah, so all right guys, oh, and don't forget to leave your comments. I'm like really interested to see what your hotels or resorts are, your choices. All right, see you next time, friends. Bye.